It's kind of pop's job to some degree to be provocateur.
Right, and to be an escape in some way. I think there's such a freedom within art in general because you really can pull from anywhere. You can pull from your truth, you can pull from a concept, you can pull from a film, from a story you're telling.
I am not doing it. I am not walking into the trap of assuming she's talking about SpongeBob or her ex-husband. In this video from last year, which if you haven't watched, I suggest you do that first and then come back to this one, I discussed this very thing. The music industry is a business, first and foremost. Whatever will get the public's attention is whatever the artist must do in order to sell records in this very crowded and competitive pop space. And in Ariana's case, if she releases a whole album after a divorce and us, the public, rush to buy it because we think she's going to spill some tea about her ex, well, I don't think she or her label will be mad at it. The ploy was effective. Every artist needs one. These days, it's called lore. What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yaira, better known as simply Yaya. I am proudly African from Cameroon, born and bred. I worked for Disney for the better half of my young adult life and more recently Whole Foods. I'm always working on leveling and glowing up, and I have a Master of Science in Journalism, which informs how I view and discuss some aspects of pop culture on this channel. If you have been keeping up with me for the past couple of weeks, you would know I have been in my Wicked bag. I have uploaded something like 6 videos related to Wicked. Yes, and there's more to come. I'm obsessed. However, that's on pause for the next couple of weeks because reviewing new music is more urgent. So today, we're obviously discussing Eternal Sunshine Deluxe tracks briefly. Next, we'll discuss Mayhem, and then Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco's situation. And then on to other things from last year that I didn't get around to, like Normani. So just go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell if that sounds like your jam. And without further ado, Eternal Sunshine Deluxe, Brighter Days Ahead review. We'll do the songs first and then the music video last. In no particular order, we'll start with the intro. It's basically the full version of the previous one. I prefer the shorter version. Dandelion. That saxophone at the beginning had me thinking, okay, this is a different territory for Ari. And then she turns it on its head and goes in an unexpected direction. Something about the song reminds me of Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On. Perhaps it's something to do with the Bhangra Punjabi sounding influence, which was very popular in the 2000s in a lot of rap or hip hop songs. Addictive by Truth Hurts had those influences, as well as Jay-Z's Beware of the Boys. If you know, you know. And Ariana definitely knows. But that's just it. This song doesn't have any Punjabi influence. It just sounds like it does. It's clearly the saxophone. So, no one can go and accuse her of appropriating, which just makes this brilliant. So I may have misspoken a little bit. So the saxophone wasn't a completely different direction for Ariana because in fact her first hit single, well, the one that I'm familiar with was Problem, and that had the saxophone in it. And actually the 2010s was the era of the saxophones. I can think of at least 3 songs aside from Problem that had the saxophone in it. Worth It by Fifth Harmony, Jason Derulo, Talk Dirty to Me, and Thrift Shop, or was it Thrift Store? I can't remember. So it was definitely the 2010s that this song was a callback to, not necessarily the 2000s, or maybe it was a mix of both, but definitely more so the 2010s than the 2000s. So just wanted to correct myself there. Also, I just like how she incorporates flower-related words like seeds, blow, bloom, which can also be a double entendre if you catch my drift. It's spicy AF and definitely my fave of the 6 tracks released. Past Life. Is it me or does the beginning of the song sound a bit like Afro beats? She's been hanging around Cynthia too much, and I love that for them. Anyway, then the rest of the song is giving heavy Justin Timberlake vibes. You know, he likes a good cello solo in a lot of his songs, like in Mirrors, What Goes Around, Rehab, and Cold Case Love by Rihanna, which he produced. That's like his trademark sound. And the song, Past Life, that is, also weirdly reminds me of Save the Last Dance and this other gospel song by Yolanda Adams. I can keep going, but we have to move on. This, by the way, is my second favorite track. The replay value on this thing should be illegal. It's so good.
So good.
And we don't know who she's talking about. It could be her ex-husband. It could be us. It could be her old self. Mistakes she's made in the past. Literally anything. Twilight Zone. It feels like it is We Can't Be Friends' counterpart sonically. You know, the whole 80s synth pop thing. Also, it has this somber tone to it, just like We Can't Be Friends. We can thank Stranger Things for that, for making 80s pop trendy again. Hampstead. This is giving a cross between Meghan Trainor's Like I'm Gonna Lose You and Camila Cabello's Never Be the Same.
It's you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe. What's wrong with us?
When she said, I do, I thought about the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz.
I do.
That was definitely intentional. Warm. She's basically saying, I like you and it's nice to be liked, but I have enough self-respect and high standards. And if you can't meet me up here, well, I'm not lowering my standards and settling. Is she addressing us, the audience, again, like she did in We Can't Be Friends? Sounds like it. And she's low-key flexing too, like I'm superstar Ari way up here and you peasants are not. She read us for filth. I like the message, but the song itself is just there. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. All of these songs are more about a vibe than an actual message, in my opinion. And I'm not mad at it. At all. Sidebar, reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo has opened my eyes. I mean, it's not that I was completely clueless before, but it makes it even more apparent that lots of Hollywood relationships are staged just to keep those people in question relevant. Nothing is as it seems. Likewise, these songs could very well not even be about Dalton Gomez, but if we believe that they do, they'll get more buzz and get streamed more. I think a true star knows how to do this delicate balance between being authentic and relatable, but still being mysterious. Before we move on to the music video, I have to address this because this is the perfect opportunity to do so about possible reasons Ariana got snubbed at the Oscars and every other award show for which she was nominated. I saw some people saying that it's because she broke up a marriage. Sorry, that is a very lame take. This is Hollywood we are talking about. Nobody gives a shit about stealing somebody else's husband. Unfortunately. And she's not the first to do it, and she certainly won't be the last. In fact, like I said, I think that behavior is encouraged, or people just turn a blind eye to it. It doesn't seem like many people in Hollywood value the institution of marriage. And two, far worse things happen in Hollywood than stealing somebody else's husband, as we saw last year. And this isn't me defending her or saying what she did was right. I feel for Lily J, but I'm also not judging Ariana too harshly. Well, not anymore. And quite frankly, we wouldn't even be here discussing this album if it weren't for that scandal. I mean, think of other pop girlies like Madison Beer or Tate McRae, who are equally as beautiful and talented, but like nobody really talks about them like that. Why do you think that is? Some people may argue that their marketing or branding isn't that good, and that definitely is valid. But they also have no scandal or lore, which can be a double-edged sword. It's great that they have no scandal, but that also makes them forgettable in a sense. Beauty and talent simply isn't enough these days. I think Ariana didn't get the Oscar because this was her first major role in a blockbuster as a crossover actress from pop music, and she was up against some heavy hitters like Demi Moore, who has been doing this for longer than Ariana has been alive, okay? Secondly, the movie isn't complete. Thirdly, I hate to say this, but it's an open secret. She wasn't naked in the movie. We know many actresses who have gotten an Oscar after being naked in a movie. Halle Berry for Monsters Ball, Natalie Portman for The Black Swan, Kate Winslet didn't get the Oscar for Titanic, but for this other movie called The Reader, and the character she played was having sex throughout the movie in return for reading lessons from this boy several years her junior, if you catch my drift. Hence the title of the movie. So that's my piece on that. I hope Ariana wins that Oscar the second time around after Wicked for Good comes out. And Cynthia needs to get that Oscar too, so she can become an EGOT already. Now, onto the visuals of Brighter Days Ahead. Ari leaned in hard to that aging filter from a couple of years ago, the one that had all the girls panicking and removing all your buccal fat so that they won't age, but weirdly, it made them all look 20 years older. Ariana is more brilliant than we give her credit for. She had mentioned something positive about aging in Vogue's Beauty Secrets from a couple of years ago, even though she forever looks like she's 20, in a good way.
To each their own, whatever makes you feel beautiful, I do support. But I know for me, I was just like, oh, I want to see my well-earned cry lines and smile lines. I hope my smile lines get deeper and deeper and I laugh more and more. And I just think aging is like it can be such a beautiful thing.
So in Eternal Sunshine, she erased memories that would cause her pain to remember. But in Brighter Days, she's back as an old woman to access and relive the last 4 good memories she has left. This was a creative way to show us some of her childhood and family home videos from Florida. That's Memory 1. Memory 2 is the performance of Eternal Sunshine, the title track, and Dandelion. This is just random, but I'd like to see a collab of her with the Bailey sisters, Chloe and or Halle. It will be sickening. The beatmaker contraption she's using here just reminded me of Chloe making beats on camera. Memory 3, Twilight Zone. She wakes up all alone in a destroyed room, same room from We Can't Be Friends. She goes downstairs to find it's flooded, finds her stuffed animal from We Can't Be Friends, and a necklace that her father gave her, which we will see coming up in Memory 4, a projection or reflection of her dad giving her this necklace as a little girl. Next, we see her stepping out of the house to more construction because of the landing of the spaceship, I'm guessing, and it transitions to none other than Supernatural, which was my favorite track off the original album. She's then willingly sucked in by the spaceship spotlight because she walked right up to it. That represents fame or media firestorm. And then it goes to Memory 4, Hampstead. We get her father as Frankenstein rebuilding her back up or putting her back together. After she was torn apart by the spaceship, I'm guessing? We don't really know because his keys are blocking the word on the newspaper headline. I left my heart at a pub in Hampstead and I misplaced my mind in a good way. The most brilliant line. Hampstead is in London. Wicked was filmed in London. One could assume she's talking about how she and Ethan got together on set. But then in the video, we see her father drinking in a pub, holding a bag which contains her beating heart, and then leaves the pub and he's rifling through the rubble looking for parts of her in order to assemble her back together. This is Ariana controlling the narrative because wasn't there some rumor about her loving blood and gore as a child and allegedly playing with animal organs?
Ariana grew up in character in a household that relished characters. The theme of her third birthday party was Jaws. She loved to run around the house in a Jason mask, and at Halloween, Joan liked to buy animal organs and leave them floating in dishes. Quote, "My family is eccentric and weird and loud in Italian," Ariana says. "There was always this fascination with the macabre. My mom is goth. Her whole wardrobe is modeled after Cersei Lannister's. I'm not kidding. I'm like, Mom, why are you wearing epaulets? It's Thanksgiving." Joan told Elle magazine, "I did the house up in things for Halloween that would give normal children nightmares," she says. "For example, I would go to the butcher, get heart organs or lungs, and then be like, 'Ariana, Frankie, this is a heart.'" Her trips to the butcher also followed for the children to exercise their creativity. "The kids would paint blood on the walls," she added.
So, this is her probably saying, yes, I liked blood and gore as a child. So what? Mind your business. What makes you think you're even invited? Yeah, she's definitely addressing us, the public, and the tabloids. So, the memory ends with her father reviving her with piano electric shock, and they play the piano together back at a pub, and that newspaper with the headline burns, and we still don't know what she was torn apart by. I'm guessing she's telling us, the viewers, that it doesn't matter what or who she was torn apart by. What matters is that she's fine now. It's a brighter day. And then we have a few wise words from baby Ari. What a production. This was brilliant, except we are missing the visuals for past life. Unless, of course, the whole concept for Memory 4 was past life. And we are missing a visual for Warm as well. Also, she appears to be decentering men in this video because the only males we see in the video aside from the saxophone player are her father, her grandfather, and her brother when he was little, and of course the randoms in the pub in Memory 4. She pays attention to online conversations. You know, before I listened to the songs, I thought to myself, 6 tracks, easy peasy. I'll make quick work of this. But no, this video is longer than I expected it to be. And I enjoyed every minute of watching the music video and then writing the script for this video. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll love these ones too. Watch them next. And check out my website for new Eternal Sunshine inspired t-shirts perfect for the summer. The link is in my description box and my bio.
Also, like the game of it all was something that when I started making music when I was young, I didn't really expect that or sign up for that. Like, I just loved music. I didn't know it had to be a game.
I think about True Story, and what I love about that song is how playful it is and how it leans into the idea of like what is real and what's not. Like,
Right.
You call it True Story, but I actually not sure if it is.
It's an untrue story based on all untrue events.
Exactly.
It sets up the boy's mind, obviously. And
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I'll play the bad girl. Now here's your bad girl anthem.
Yeah.
That's why they're in that order on the track list.